Today's story is about a prisoner who escapes from jail every time, no matter how high the security. The story is about Japan's most dreaded prisoner, Suzuki, who is currently serving his sentence in Japan's highest security jail. After the guards roaming on the duty left, Suzuki suddenly smiled and took out one of his teeth. After some time, the guards came back to check. But this time, Suzuki was not in jail room. He had escaped. The guards alerted everyone with alarms, but Suzuki had escaped once more. When Suzuki was escaping from rooftop, it started raining heavily and sirens were loud. After the scene, we were shown 12-year flashback. Some prisoners were brought in jail 12 years ago. Among them was Suzuki, who had initially come to 10-year prison. Suzuki never used to talk, so everyone thought he was deaf. He had upside-down tattoo of Mount Fuji. He was known for jailbreak early on and had escaped from jail 3 times. After this, Suzuki was brought to a small room where there was just one small window in the room. He looked at the window of jail carefully. Something was definitely going on in his mind. Outside guard was talking to Mr. Kanimura that Suzuki will never be able to escape this time. But as soon as he looked through the mirror, the Suzuki was not in the jail room. Warden ordered to surround the entire city so Suzuki could not escape city. Warden told the police to find him in train track. He was once again arrested from train track like the past. Warden was promoted for his excellent job to catch Suzuki. Now he was a high-ranking officer who used to visit all major prisons of the city and inspect their situation. On the other side, Suzuki had escaped jail once more and was captured once more from the same place. Train tracks. He was sent to a new prison each year with a more tighter security. But he used to escape each jail. He became star in media and became famous in the country. Finally, he was brought to Central Jail where security was toughest. There were 10 dedicated guards just to keep an eye on him. His room is made full of cement and there were many locks outside his isolation cell. It is same isolation cell which was shown in the start of the story. He was looking around his new cell and was planning to escape this time too. A police guard kept food in his cell, but before the guard leaves, Suzuki handcuffed him. The guard immediately blew the whistle, due to which many guards reached there. Suzuki was bitten badly. When guards left, Suzuki had blood flowing from his mouth and head. He was holding the iron bars, which were enriched with blood. Next morning, the guards came again. They beat him up and tightened the screws further for his handcuff so he don't get any chance to open them again. Time was passing in jail. Suzuki used to mess with guards regularly and get beaten. He used to drop his blood in iron bars every time after beating up. One time when guards were beating him, his tooth came out. When guards left, Suzuki was laughing with his broken teeth in hand. It seemed as if he wanted this to happen and it was part of his plan. After that, Suzuki started scratching his tooth against the wall. After a few weeks, Suzuki attacks another guard. This time, they give me severe punishment. He was hanged in the air with the help of chains facing downward. He was kept in this position for 1 year. He was really in bad state. Finally, they opened his chains after a year. Old warden Mr. Kanimura came for inspection. He saw Suzuki in miserable state and left from there by ignoring him. Next scene is the same night scene which was shown in the start of the movie when it was raining with thunderstorm. Suzuki had made his plan and now it was time for execution. He took out broken teeth and started opening handcuffs. He had shaped it to open the handcuffs. Finally, his hands were free. Then he started pushing iron bars with force. Due to regular blood flow, the iron bars were rusted from base, so they came out after some effort. Suzuki had escaped from jail once more. After that, a scene is shown about childhood Suzuki. His mother had died at very early age of Suzuki and his father was in jail in his entire childhood time. Suzuki was raised at his relatives. Once in his childhood, Suzuki met his father in the park during exercise where he saw Mount Fuji on his father's chest. While both father and son were talking, the police came to arrest his father. His father ran on a railway track to escape the police and Suzuki was seeing this from a distance. He last saw his father running from the police on a railway track. He made a promise with himself that one day he will find and meet his father. That was the reason every time when he broke jail, he escaped through the railway track. Tattoo of Mount Fuji on his chest was also to remember his father. After failing to contain him in the toughest jail of the country, it was decided that he should be sent to world's toughest jail called Prison Isle, which is located on an island. Even if someone escapes from that jail, which was impossible, he will end up on an island filled with security. It was an order to shoot on sight if someone even tries to escape. When Suzuki was brought to this jail, it was not a room, but he was surrounded by rods around his body in a small cell. It was impossible for others to run from there, but something was going on in Suzuki's mind. One night, when other prisoners were drunk and Suzuki was kept inside those tight rods, he dislocated both of his shoulders and he was able to come out from the small space of those rods. Kanimura was still doing research on Suzuki. Suddenly, the siren started. Suzuki has escaped from jail. However, the jail warden seemed very happy with the situation because there was no escape from that island and guards were ready to kill anyone who comes out of jail. Mr. Kanimura told Warden that Suzuki is not an ordinary prisoner, but Warden ignored him. Next morning, when the warden was briefing his men to find Suzuki, then Mr. Kani came out and told him that Suzuki came to this jail to find his father. Everyone was shocked. Everything which happened till now was part of Suzuki's plan to reach Prison of Isle. That's why he used to escape jail again and again, so they shifted him to a higher level jail and finally in Prison of Isle. After knowing the plan of Suzuki, they all rushed towards the cell of Suzuki's father. When Mr. Kanimura reached there, he saw that Suzuki's father was not there. Suzuki had taken him already. He asks details from another prisoner in the same cell. When Mr. Kanimura was asking details from another prisoner, he noticed that there was tattoo of Mount Fuji on the chest of that prisoner, which means all effort of Suzuki wasted. He had taken the wrong person with him and his father was still in jail. On the other hand, Suzuki had kept a paraglider ready on that island. He leaves the island on a paraglider with a prisoner which he was thinking is his father.